Hey everybody, Mike Gillette here, and I have some interesting observations from the past day and a half or so that all started with a conversation with my business partner. And we were discussing social media and specifically Facebook groups, which is not something that I really pay attention to or am a part of. And his input was that it might do me some good to look at some of those groups a little bit closer in order to sort of understand the dynamics of some of those groups, and moreover to get a handle on what topics seem to consistently come up, because as someone who aspires to help people, it's important for me to find ways to sort of tap the pulse of what's going on with people. And in his opinion, that was a good way to do that. So I said, okay. And the result of that is I'm now part of several Facebook groups that I wasn't just a couple of days ago. And we picked groups that sort of lined up with either my interests or my background, or the kinds of people I might be speaking to in my social media communications, my marketing, and so forth. So the result is these are groups that are made up primarily of men, and men who are a little bit older, so probably 30 plus at least, and some older still. And what I noticed when I started having all of these notifications start popping up in my feed is a couple things. The first of which that I thought was pretty encouraging was there was a lot of transparency in some of these groups. People are being very unguarded, and this is what I'm dealing with. This is where I'm getting frustrated, and so forth. And the other thing that I noticed is the things that some of us take for granted, and it may be because I'm part of a particular generation. It may simply be because of my biological age. I've been on the planet a little while, so I've had the luxury of figuring some things out. But I was really struck by how many young men are genuinely struggling, and publicly proclaiming that fact with what it means to be a man, probably most of all, and what it means to be a good partner, spouse, what it means to be a good father. How do you represent yourself honorably in the workplace? And those are things, of course, all men have to navigate that. There's no easy answer for any of those things, and the answers are different for every person. But the depth to which I saw men kind of crying out in the cyber wilderness, if you will, really that really struck me, and saddened, I suppose, by that. The the idea that some very fundamental things are not very fundamental. The and we can probably trace much of that back to there's a lot of struggle, I believe, currently, what culturally, what have you, with what is it to be a man. And I think you have a culture that does not elevate men the way that it has in the past, and that's complicated, and it's trendy to beat up on men, to vilify men, and sometimes or characteristics of men. We have phrases like toxic masculinity, whatever that means. Toxic is toxic. I mean, if you suck, you suck. It doesn't matter what gender you are. If you can't handle your adulthood, then that's a problem that needs to be solved, and you need to solve that. But obviously, there are problems that are uniquely male. There are problems that are caused that are sort of uniquely male. And I certainly don't propose to have a solution for some of society's greater ills, other than I have a better sense in this last day or so of just casual observation of seeing just how many gainfully employed, intelligent seeming men are struggling with what it means to be one, what it means to be a man. And on the one hand, it sort of fuels a feeling I've carried with me through much of my professional life, whether I've been a cop, whether I've been a tactical trainer in my bodyguard days, to this latest iteration of Mike Gillette, where I occupy this spot in the self improvement arena. The On the one hand, I'm happy that I have certain skills, certain things that I've been trained at and have developed expertise with. But at the other side of that is I'm always a little disappointed in the necessity of it. And I've been struggling with that since I was teaching flight attendants how to kill people in an aircraft post 9/11. It's when you realize that, oh, this is where we are now. Oh, so this is where we are now. If you've ever been someone who has taught school children what to do in the event of a mass shooting incident, it's important for people to have access to certain kinds of information, but it's a damn shame that that information is necessary. And so it goes in this arena. I mean, if you look at some of the products that I sell, they are specifically targeted at men. I mean, there's no getting around the ad copy. I didn't write it, but people who knew what they were doing did. And there's very few women. I mean, I'm happy when women buy my stuff, but that's not the target demo because women aren't struggling the same way that men are. And I'm happy to meet that need, but damn, I wish that need wasn't quite so pressing. So I'm going to continue doing what I do and helping where I can. And if you're a man watching this, I'm with you. If you're a female watching this and you have the opportunity to reach out and just support or encourage a man in your life, well, I hope you do that.